right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Versatility Podcast. I'm your host, Juelz. You like that? That's cool. That's fire. Yeah. All right, y'all. But what's up, everybody? Sorry for the it's been 3 months, I think. Don't do that. It was definitely not 4. It was in December. I don't have an excuse. I'm just gonna keep it pushing. And then we're back now. So that's all that matters. Happy 2023. Happy New Year, everybody. I know it's what is this? What's today's date?
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black.
Forget the New Year. Can we cuss?
I don't care.
Okay.
But listen, it is February 24th. February 24th, but it is 2023, class of 2023, you know me, what you talking about, hey, I'm serious, okay, listen, the first 2-3 minutes, I just be mad. I've been saying some mess, I'm not gonna lie, because I gotta get everybody warmed up. We gonna talk about some serious stuff, some lighthearted stuff, we gonna talk about a little bit of everything, and I got my gracious, my beautiful friend right here, so you wanna introduce yourself, gang?
Of course. Okay, hi everyone, my name is Robersha. I'm a senior, graduating this semester, woo woo. I'm a political science major and an English minor, so keep a lookout for me on your TV screen, in your newspaper, in your magazines. It's coming up. And you should follow me on Instagram at JUUUUUEEEEEEEELLZZZ.
You forgot the O for a second there?
Yeah,
you had to think about it?
Stop, leave me alone.
Well, thank you, Robersha. It's one of my best friends, so I appreciate her for coming on the pod. She been asking, yeah.
Okay, not too much.
Not enough. But it's fine. This is actually this is pod 35, Robersha. 35. That's for Katie. Shout out to him who went to the Suns. Now, listen, I'm gonna talk basketball. I might have a little bit segment in here, talking about some basketball stuff because y'all know I love sports, and we gotta find a way to talk about something. You know what I mean? Okay. Hey, since last time I did the podcast. Since the last time that I did the podcast, I have a TikTok page now, VPod Shorts and Clips. I was posting consistent on there. I just posted one yesterday. I plan to post one today as well. This is our wellness day for here at Morgan State University, so it's a little bit easier for me to do one today. Also, we needed this wellness day. We really, really did.
I still got homework due today.
But we don't have to go to classes.
But they said we're not supposed to have homework on.
No. We're not supposed to have homework due.
Yeah, and I have homework due.
Okay, well then you need to tell the university. Tell that man, Dr. PW.
What they gonna do?
DP Dubs.
They ain't gonna do anything.
Tell DP. You know DP Dubs?
Who?
DP Dubs.
I hope that's not Dr. Wilson.
It's Dr. Wilson. No, I was joking with him one time when we was going to we was coming back to the States, and I was like, Kyrie, you like DPW?
He was like, we ain't that.
Nah, he was like, oh, because some of the other people I called him before. It was funny. It was funny.
Like, I don't know you like that. No,
hey, DPW, that's my I'm playing. Dr. Wilson, he's a great guy, man. He always be traveling with us with the choir and everything. We see, we're about 4 minutes in, man. I tell you, I be messing around at the beginning. I like to get everybody a little bit lighthearted and stuff. But as you guys can see, new setup. So more intimate space. My room. Respectfully, I ain't got the bread to be doing all that extra stuff for real, but I like it. I got my posters up finally. As you see, I got the KOD. Yeah, I know. I see you got tricked by the mirror of the. Yeah, okay, it's fine. I ain't gonna lie. I be doing the same thing. I be like, I mean, this way. I got the KOD. One of my favorite albums by J. Cole. Malibu, my favorite album by Anderson .Pac. Man, he be killing it. And then one of my favorite albums of all time up top. You can see the tip top of it.
Can I say my favorite rapper of all time is?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, why not?
Kevin Gates. And I can go into a long
I don't want to. I don't want you to.
Discourse about Kevin Gates. But Kevin Gates is the best rapper of all time. You might want before you throw your rocks at me.
The Versatility Podcast is not liable for anything that that someone else says. on this podcast. You know, this is just a platform. I can't stop them from saying what they say. I can.
But you brought me on this podcast knowing my controversial take. So I think
if you knew it was controversial, then you just wanted to say it on here, or you just
no, because I live in my truth. And if it's controversial,
it's a big thing. Truth. Yeah, truth. All right, moving on. So we have, to start off, Robersha, she said she's political science major. So, I started to try to bring some policy stuff in here, just a little bit of that. But y'all know, we always do the news today segment first. That's just what we do here on this podcast. And to start off, so are y'all sick of 5-day work weeks? I'm asking a question. Like, are you?
Yeah, I'm tired of working. Period. I don't
Amen
really,
to that.
I don't even want to work.
It's Black History Month. I shouldn't have to work a single thing. But basically, 4-day week global. It's basically like an advocacy organization. They did a 4-day work week pilot. According to the Washington Post, in a 6-month trial in the UK, which is United Kingdom, more than 3,300 workers from 61 different companies worked for 80% of their hours, meaning 4 days out the week instead of 5, for 100% of their pay, but had to promise 100% productivity during the process. So instead of the usual 38 hours a week, 40 hours a week, it was 32 hours per week. Of 61 companies, 56 said they'd continue to implement, and only 3 companies said they wouldn't continue. Some of them also said they wanted to give it another trial run. Some of them was like, okay, we might, figuring out still. 15% of employees said no amount of money would make them go back to a 5-day work week.
Dang.
Employees felt like they had a way better work-life balance, productivity increased, and people felt like their job wasn't their life as much anymore, which is a big problem, especially in this society where work goes beyond the 40 hours in some place, especially in my field and stuff, because a lot of things your field, because a lot of paperwork and all that type of stuff. But in our field, if there's a story, you got to cover the story, especially if you breaking news and things of that nature. And because if something happens, you have to go to it. I don't plan on working in breaking news, but still, even if it's sports stuff, if there's an event a big game or something like that, or somebody just says something they want me to talk about it, I gotta talk about it. But other jobs, still 40 hours a week, that's a lot of time, man.
Yeah, there's no business life a balance between them. So I just feel even though I feel it should be 3-day work.
3 days is crazy. You're not gonna make enough money.
How's that crazy?
You're not gonna make enough money.
Yes, you are. We get paid the same. No, yes, I feel
that's 24. That's 24 hours per week. You're not making nearly enough money, and a company's not making enough money.
Pick up the price of the salary. I think I need a little bit more money, because I feel once.
So okay, but if you do that, then also you have to think about the fact of who's taking that other time shit. Are you saying they're gonna have to hire more people?
No, I feel they can
but
do
for
half
less
and half.
hours.
No, I feel they can do half and half. I feel people. I feel now with the 5-day work week, some people work 6 days a week.
7 days, shoot.
They work their whole life away. But I feel people burn out, and I feel if anything, I feel that brings down productivity. I feel if you give your employees, benefits and a shorter work week, and just care about them and their mental health, I feel they'll want to work. They would want to they would want to put in the work, and they would want to go to work and be more productive. So I just feel a shorter work week would be better for everyone.
Okay, but 3 days is crazy. But I think 4 days, like this is.
Why is 3 days crazy?
3 days, it just seems like you're not doing enough. You have too much free time now. Whereas, let's say in a 4-day work week, I like it because 9 times out of 10, Monday through Thursday. So that means you actually have a weekend, and not Saturday and then Sunday you're basically just preparing to go back to work. You have Friday an actual day off, Saturday another day off, and then Sunday, okay, let me ramp myself back up to work again. Because because I remember a few things that people have said several different times where it's like, instead of working so you can rest, you should be resting so you will be able to work. I think we have it so backwards. Like, okay, let's burn myself out so then, because I know I have rest at the end, right?
Yeah.
Instead, we should be resting so that we should ramp up, so we can ramp up to working. Then when our energy depletes, then we're back to resting again, rejuvenation period, then do it. A lot of people, even myself included, for a lot of things, like, I'm like, okay, let me just finish this work and I'm gonna rest later. Now, I've stopped that as much, but then also I have to have a balance as well of like, okay, I've been rested for a little too long. I need to make sure I'm working again. You know, and
but why do you feel like you need to work? Like, why don't you feel why don't you feel comfortable with just resting? Like, I feel like society has made it seem like we just always gotta be working and slaving and doing to get the next dollar. But I'm trying to now is not the time. It's Black History Month, but
we're gonna get to that.
But I just feel like, why? Like, I feel like in society, it made us feel like we have to be working to the bone, and I feel like sometimes it's okay to rest. It's okay to chill. It's okay to just want to live life. I'm like living to live, or what's it saying? I'm living to live, not dying to live, or I'm living. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about.
I get the general thing what you're saying, but I don't know what quote you're trying to go to right now.
Living to die. Oh, living to die and dying to live.
Oh, don't be doing those. Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. I see what you mean. I mean, no. I agree though. Like, a lot of us don't rest. Like, I know a lot of people who like, I'm gonna just keep going.
The hustler
and then sometimes when it don't end up working out, and you see other people who kind of do a little bit of both, of resting and working, and you see them succeeding while you working yourself day and night, you know, over and over and over and over again. It's like, oh dang, like, what am I doing right now?
Is it worth it? Because you working all these hours, making all this money, you don't even get time to even spend it. Like, even give yourself a break. And it's just like, it's sad to see, because it's like, it's been ingrained, especially in the Black community. I feel like it's just like, if we're not just chilling, we get caught lazy. We just, just laying around.
I mean, there's a fine line though, because there's a lot of people, like, I know some people, they doing a little too much resting and not enough working.
The friend that's available at 2, or on Tuesdays at 2, that's the working hours.
Ooh, wait, what?
I'm just saying, like, when you have friends that are like, you call them and they in like fucking, you got.
I don't care. Yeah.
Okay, they in Cancun and it's a Tuesday at 2, and he's like, you supposed to be at work, but you at work and they in Cancun.
Well, I mean, now I think it's a little bit different now too, because you can actually like go on vacation while you're working if you work like a hybrid.
Yeah, but what kind of
online thing?
They trying to stop that. Like, they don't want people to work from home. They feel like people are too comfortable. A lot of companies don't like people working from home.
Really? I need to read up on that though.
They really don't.
I would say I don't care, because if you finish your work, let's say if it's something that's like computer coding and stuff.
I mean, yeah, if it's like that, like it has something to do with the computer, I feel like okay, but like other stuff, I feel like they be wanting it to be like a hybrid, like you come in for a couple days out the week and then you do it at home, but completely
maybe
remote.
Split 2-2 or something.
I don't know. I feel like, do you like working from home?
Hell no.
Me either. I don't like working from home.
But that's different. Like, in my profession, like, what do I look like working from home? Like
I mean,
please,
you good.
What would I look like working from home? Me, my profession, like that don't make no sense, bro. Like, I need to be out talking to people. I'm not out talking to people if I'm just behind a computer just doing like a few things. Like, that's weird. And in your position, there's some different things you can do, but like, you have to be out there or like, see these different things and be talking to people. Like, both of our career paths focus on talking to people and networking and all that stuff in order to continue to grow and get better and better over time.
Yeah. But I just feel like,
no, you go.
Okay, I just feel like working from home, I feel like that doesn't work for me, because I just feel like I need to be in person so I can like make connections with people. Cause I feel like over the internet it's kind of hard to like connect with people, especially if everyone's cameras are off. And it's just hard to like communicate. It's hard to get social cues. Like, it's just hard to do stuff online. That's why I like to be in person.
No,
like,
I just did the Fizz ambassador thing, and like me, I like to make first impressions. You know, good first.
You met the guy? Was the guy there?
Who?
The owner. Whoever made the app.
The dude I show you on the group me thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
he was there.
Like, yes, he was actually there. He's one of their ambassadors as well. Like, you know, wanted to help people. You know, that does the company. And I know
Morgan let random people have tables.
We didn't, so we ended up just like carting the stuff around. Yeah, we ended up. No, we was carting it around like in these like donut thingies and like just doing it for real. Like everybody was in different stations around campus. Either way, there's neither here or there. Basically, I was an ambassador for a social media app. Basically, only for specific college campuses. You put in your school email or whatever, so you make sure it's only people who actually go to the school and everything. Don't smile at me like that.
I hope you get enough 15 for this, because
right. No, so I got
doing free promo.
I got $15 and I got 50. So
okay,
like
this is free promo.
No, I definitely want free promo. You talking about just for talking right now? I don't really care right now, bro. You know, we starting up from the ground up. I don't really care that much. No. But my thing is like when like we had to do like a virtual meeting and stuff, I'm the only one who had my camera on. Because besides the regular dude, because I'm like, I know nobody else is gonna do it. Mm-hmm. 2, he's gonna remember my face and my name now because I always introduce myself anyway. On top of that, I always say something that like makes people remember, like Julian Emmanuel with an I Johnson or Juelz, like all that stuff. Like you're not gonna forget that, like respectfully. So like like even when I first talked to him, I was one of the first shifts of people, getting the donuts, how getting people to do the app. And so like just talking to people like that, those type of things, like those type of things matter. And I feel like a lot of people take it for granted because they're like, oh, I'm just going to get in and get my work done, and that's it. And sometimes that is enough for people. Mm-hmm. But you could be doing yourself just a little bit more even if you just say hi, show your face on the camera. Like even with a teacher, like they'll give you more grace if they see you doing, if they see your face and they know you more, like asking a question or just staying after and even say, thank you for the sermon today. Not I said sermon. Thank you for the lecture today or whatever. And yeah, I know that's a Christian in me. Thank you for whatever. I really appreciate it. I actually been looking at this type of thing, But those type of things that helps teachers be like, I like this person. If there's an opportunity that comes up, I'm gonna do it. Teachers are not just gonna give you an opportunity just because, unless they see your work is really good. But then on top of that, if your work is really good, but you're really quiet and I don't really have a reason to say nothing to you, like I could maybe still help you, but I'll feel more inclined to do so if you make a connection with me, because connections, they matter.
Yeah. You're right.
See? Oh, look at you. But anyway, moving on.
Not gonna say,
that's
are you okay?
Are you good?
No.
Are you
no?
Okay. But basically, just to sum this all up, though, the 5-day, 40-hour work week was first implemented by the law in 1938 after the Great Depression. That's because they needed more people to work. The companies were bankrupt.
They implemented the 4-day work week.
The 5-day, 40-hour work week was first implemented by the law. Like literally, it's a law in 1938 after the Great Depression. Yeah. But advocacy groups like 4-Day Week Global say we're overdue for an update, and that's the quote right there. We're overdue for an update. So yeah, that's what I have about that. Please let me know what y'all think. Comments and things of that nature, or on IG, whatever. I'm trying to post some.
I feel like everyone would want a 4-day work week. Like if you want 5, you just a hamster in a wheel. At that point,
I mean, no, they just programmed. like they money.
You so programmed that you want to have 5 days of working when you getting offered 4. That don't make no sense.
I mean, they literally said though that we're cutting back the hours, but you get the same amount of pay. But you just have to promise 100% productivity at all times.
I'll promise whatever. Yeah. That works.
Whatever is they ain't giving you no type of deal. But moving on to the next topic. For those of you who don't know, I love saying that. You're goofy, bro. I saw that. Section 230 is basically a law, literally like a Supreme Court law, if I'm not mistaken. It's a ruling that happened in 1990, I think. So it was in the 90s. And basically,
So it's recent.
it made fairly that was when social media like companies and like sites, those are in infancy.
Yeah.
So like things have drastically changed. I was about to say drastically. I don't know where I was going, but basically
I'm
social
surprised.
media companies are not liable for whatever user content people post on their platforms. Yes.
I'm surprised it didn't happen like after 2001.
No, it was before that.
I know. That's why I'm surprised, because I feel like,
I thought the same thing when I saw 1990 something. I was like, that's a little like, that's way too early, and things have matured so much since then.
Yeah, I feel like especially after 9/11 and stuff, a lot of like Al Qaeda and like Taliban propaganda was on YouTube and all over the internet.
We're about to get to that. We're about to get that.
My bad, y'all.
We're about to get to that. No. That's good though. I'm gonna write these timestamps down. You know what I mean? I'll come back to it later. So we have one Supreme Court case that recently has come back up. Really come up. So it's Gonzalez versus Google Plus. 2015 terrorist attack allegedly incited by YouTube's algorithm to incite people to join, and resulted in her daughter's death, Gonzalez's daughter's death. This is in Paris. Supreme Court is on the fence about this because the algorithm is the same across the board for all content, and the case is really too broad. At least that's what I was getting from it. This is literally this Supreme Court, with Ketanji Brown Jackson and all of them like who are on it.
So basically,
wait. Lower courts have already voted in favor of Google Plus, which is YouTube, because it's all connected. So looking at this, basically their in general argument was the same recommendations that put that up is the same recommendations that put other things up. It's all like user generated, like, AI and things of that nature. Like not user generated, but AI that figures out the algorithm, and then they, based on what you click on or what you stay on and things of that nature, that's what ends up going at for it. So let's say you're searching things about terrorists and stuff like that for research purposes, right? Or you were just curious, and then the algorithm was like, well, this might be similar to what he or she likes, and then that ends up being like, okay, I'm gonna recommend this to them. They might not like it, but I'm gonna see just in case. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why it's kind of broad, because it's like I'm not for sure.
I don't know. I feel like that doesn't make any sense though. 'Cause I just feel like, I guess I see what the people defending Google Plus are saying, but I just feel like just because you type in something like Al Qaeda or some terrorist group, it's gonna pop up as an ad on your YouTube. That doesn't make any sense. I feel like it should be some type of filter, some sort of moderator or something, so you don't get terrorist freaking ads. That doesn't make any sense. Like, I feel like, what? That just don't make any sense.
Nah, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, I see what the Supreme Court is saying as well, because if you do this now, right, that opens up the floodgates for the Section 230 thing now, because it's like, well, what are they liable for? Because like I said, the same thing that generated that content is the same thing that generated the recommendation that I want to watch cat videos, or for me, like, I want to watch basketball, or I want to watch anime stuff, or like I want to watch like some thought-provoking stuff or some Christian stuff and things of that nature. You see, it's the same, it's consistent. But then hold up, because this is where it gets interesting, and because I was reading a little bit more. There's another court case called Twitter versus Taamneh, Taamneh. I don't know how to say the person's name. Twitter's decision to regularly remove terrorist threats means it has the ability to more aggressively take down terrorist posts and more. That's basically the argument that Taamneh means. So basically, this decision can help give context in the Gonzalez case if Taamneh wins. Because it's like, if you know about these terrorist, content and stuff, and if it gets too ridiculous, you can take it down. then that means you can take down other content way before it happens, but you're choosing not to until it gets worse.
So with the YouTube one, they're talking about recommendations of videos or ads you get on your videos?
Not the ads specifically. It's like actual like videos, I think.
So if they recommend you like terrorist videos. If you looked up terrorist videos before, they're gonna give you more.
Or something that was similar to it. You know, because sometimes like I'll get recommended something that is loosely connected because like their viewers watch this.
Oh, okay. Okay,
you know
that makes sense. Cause I thought it was just advertisement. Like you get like an ad or something that has something to do with like come join. I was just like, that should be regulated. I feel like that should be. No. So okay, I feel like if that's the point. I mean, if that's the case, then I feel like
it's too hard.
Yeah, you can't. And I feel like when it comes to like when you give the government or some type of entity the opportunity to do their own organizing of what they think is a terrorist and what isn't, black people ain't gonna have no say on nothing. Like they already see like the Black Lives Matter movement, other stuff like that as like a terrorist type of organization,
which is insane to me.
So I feel like if you give them the opportunity, they're gonna not do it correctly. They're not gonna accurately look at what is a terrorist post and what is just someone demanding for, equal rights.
And I agree in general, because my thing is, dude, my nose is like bothering me. I don't know why. One of the things that came directly to my mind when I was thinking about this was the Social Dilemma movie on Netflix. Did you watch that?
Nope.
Whew, Robersha.
It's probably like Black Mirror, isn't it?
No. So it's basically the Social Dilemma is a quote unquote movie, more so like kind of like documentary in a way. Mm-hmm. They talk to multiple people who left different social media companies, right? Mm-hmm. Google, Facebook, what else? Like I think Twitter, and just a lot of places like that, right? Mm-hmm. And they're talking about how messed up the algorithm really is because it ends up inciting people, like with a lot of like white lives matter type stuff. Mm-hmm. If you go down a rabbit hole, then eventually that rabbit hole leads you to this information and this information, mm-hmm. which might be misinformation. Yeah. And the whole movie kind of tracked this kid's, downward spiral that he went until he ended up going to like a thing that ended up happening. And then he got in trouble. Yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, but basically the content literally is like, not the content, like the AI, mm-hmm. it's programmed to get you to want to stay on the app. Like recently, like I keep clicking on Instagram, like for no reason. Like I'll get off of it, and I'll click right back on it because I see two notification bars on it. You know what I mean? Like even though I just got off of it, or like with Twitter, I don't even have my notifications on for a reason, so I won't click on it as much. But I'm so wired that I click off it, just went off of it. 2 seconds pass, I go back on it. I'm like, God. I'm like, how did I end up here again? Mm-hmm. And then I see something else because it says I can refresh again, mm-hmm. and then I'm back on it again. It's the same way with that, but because they're enticing you, because they're like, okay, he just clicked off. Let me make sure I put something at the top that I know he's going like, mm-hmm. because he stays on it, or he looks at the comments, or he comments on these certain different things, or sends it to his friends and all that. Let me make sure that he stays on it again. Mm-hmm. But you see how like dangerous that can be, mm-hmm. and that's why I bring that back to this in general, because it's like, oh shoot, like they know what's happening in these algorithms and things of that nature, but are choosing not to fix it because they're making so much money off of this. Like what? Like that type of thing.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you think when it comes to filtering through videos and seeing what's safe to post and what's not safe, like when people upload stuff, I'm sure they go through a process of see if the video is safe to post. Do you think it's like an AI doing that or a human?
There's no way a human can keep track of all that.
Great,
stuff.
I can segue into what I'm about to say.
There's no way a human can keep up with all that.
So I watched a YouTube video, Vice uploaded. It's called Informers. It's like a show on Vice called Informers, and it's basically just like people who are like anonymous, and they talk about a certain job they had or like a certain experience they had. And this one guy was on there, and he used to work for Facebook, and he was the person that goes through videos and see if they're safe or not safe.
Oh, he really goes.
Yes,
really
and
guy who does it.
Yeah, there's people. It's like a whole like a call center, like a whole area.
No, let me stop.
There's a whole area where people really like go through Facebook videos to make sure they don't have nudity or they don't have like violence and stuff like that. And he said he's seen some crazy things. Sometimes they miss some stuff, and he was just talking about how the job is so hard on their mental, and just like there's so much stuff they have to see. And I feel like it's like so crazy, like how they still have humans doing that, like going through and making sure stuff doesn't have violence, nudity, and all that stuff. So I feel like they should kind of give that to AIs. I feel like that's...
I don't know. See, that just makes it even harder because AI, they have to have a little bit of a set way of doing it. And if it like, let's say it like it's on the line, but it's not, and then that ends up getting taken down, or like they see something that what it could be, and then they end up taking it down, then it's gonna get even worse in my opinion.
How? Because I feel like humans already have errors anyway, so it's like... But
that's the problem. AI have no errors in terms of they have a set thing usually.
Well, they have no errors.
No, but that's the problem though.
How's that problem?
Because then it's gonna become too regulated.
I mean, I don't think we want to see violence and nudity and all that stuff on Facebook. If Facebook have in their terms and services that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, then you can't do it. They're not going to upload that. So I feel like if the AI has all those things listed in their software, and when they go and evaluate the videos, I feel like it's fine.
Okay, so then let's put it like this, right?
Okay.
So for people who, whether that's guys or women, well in this case, let's say for Instagram, it's most likely gonna be women. Like wear revealing clothing and things of that nature. What if one time like it's a basic photo that you posted several different times before, but because now AI are doing it, they're like, nah, you know, or like I post beach pictures or something like that, right? And they're like, nah, can't do that, and that type of thing. You like, bro, there's not even a lot for real, but like, let's say I just have a really good body, so then like it comes off is that way, so then it doesn't fit everything, or you know, just think things of that nature. I feel like that's something that could potentially happen if we leave it in AI's hands. My opinion.
I don't think AI. I think AIs will be able to know the difference between a swimsuit and a naked body. Like especially if you go through, if the AI goes through a whole bunch of different pictures and videos, I feel like it's gonna get better over time. Like they're gonna be able to realize, okay, this is a swimsuit. Okay, this is a naked body.
I don't feel comfortable with leaving things in AI's hands. I really don't.
Because but it's like you don't care about the mental of the human. Like the human has to see people getting slaughtered or see some child pornography or something crazy. Like I feel like I just think of the well-being of the person. Like I feel like
somebody's gotta do it. Somebody's got to do it.
And why can't a robot do it?
I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it, bro. Because then they might miss something too. Even if
humans
it is
miss
something,
stuff.
even if it is bad too. I don't like leaving things in the hands of an AI or a robot that someone else created that could potentially be compromised. Or if you find the firewall to break it or something, you know, you put a glitch in the system to break whatever that algorithm that it has or whatever that decides on those things. Like I personally don't like that. Like I really don't. Like I don't like that.
So you don't like the recommendations on YouTube and stuff like that when they do that?
I feel like that's different. That's my recommendations,
but
and I'm
like
already on the fence about it. I'm already on the fence about it as it is. Like I just told you I have a problem. Like I keep getting back on apps after I close them. Like it's pissing me off. But
so they're doing a good job.
Yes,
so
that's
they
the
can't
problem.
do a good job.
That's the problem. No, sometimes the recommendations be god awful. I keep scrolling now because I'm like I don't see anything I like. Plus I'm picky as it is. But stop. Because you be scrolling too. When you just looking on YouTube, you're looking on something.
I be having some good recommendations on YouTube.
Netflix. Scrolling on Netflix, trying to figure it out. Like, you know, all those different things. Like, I feel like we can leave things in AI's hands, I guess. Mm-hmm. But, like, some things, like, I mean, bro, look, they taking over assembly lines. They taking over all these different things. Like, you getting rid of jobs.
I don't think that should
be.
I don't think they should do so that humans could do like working.
Humans can do that. They can do that. What you talking about too?
But I feel like mentally, I just feel like
some people can handle it.
I know they can, but do we really want them to? Like,
listen, that guy, he left his job because he couldn't handle that specific thing, and props to him because I don't know if I can handle that as well. Like I feel like after a while it would get very daunting.
It would.
Big word, yeah.
Daunting.
Daunting.
It's not what. You get like 7 letters. Okay, come on.
I'm saying like like complex. Or,
I know. Come on.
Okay, nah, but like I don't know if I can do that, right? But I know some people who got really hard mental. Things of that nature that can handle that. I'm not saying his mental is hard. I ain't saying that at all.
He was doing it for a long time.
But he did it for a long time. But it comes to a point where they're like, nah, I'm good. Like, I can't do that anymore. Like, there are things in my life that I don't put up with anymore. It's like my mental could not handle it. Like, that's a normal thing, and that's okay. Not everybody is the same. That's why toxic masculinity, all that stuff.
Do you think mentally draining jobs causes people to do
yes,
negative things?
Yes, I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah.
Think about all these people. I mean, the dude at Morgan who did all that stuff because of something that happened at his job.
The one that didn't get the job? He didn't get a job.
He didn't get a job. Yeah, like that whole thing, just things of that nature. Like,
you think that could be an excuse in court? Like,
it's not an excuse.
I'm just saying, can you think someone can use
yes. that? It depends on how extenuating the circumstances were, and you got to have a good amount of evidence and people to back it up. And when I say evidence, I mean you got to have the evidence from the company, and people in the company that are going to help you out in this situation, because that's a slippery slope.
Yeah, I'm just like, how can you get evidence?
Because they're probably not going to say nothing. They're going to be like, oh, he's just crazy or he's ridiculous. But that's why you got to pile up your evidence. Get trusted people and all that stuff, because 9 times out of 10 it's gonna be hard. You gotta have your documents. You gotta have so much stuff, because these companies, they're like, I'm not paying you nothing. Mm-hmm. Like what? Like that's because then on top of that, if you lose, then they can file for defamation.
Yeah.
so it's hard. Like it's hard. Plus all the money that goes into those lawsuits and everything. Mm-hmm. Of course, there are people who win it, but.
You just have to have a compelling case.
A really compelling case.
But mental health is like a new thing nowadays. Like, people are starting to get on board with mental health and stuff.
On board don't mean you got the evidence to back it up.
No, I'm just saying, like, I feel like back in the day, I feel like they really were being, like, pushed to the limits. And I feel like we are getting pushed to the limits today. But I feel like now it's more known about mental health and what, certain jobs and certain things can do to your mental.
Yeah, I agree. But moving on. Unless you have any final questions or comments, concerns about it.
Do you think someone should get fired because of their mental health? Like, if they're not, because there's I don't know. I don't know if we could bring up.
I don't care.
Are you sure? Because okay, so there was a situation that happened at I think in North Carolina A&T with the Mr. NCAT, and he got you know what happened?
NCAT.
Yeah, NCAT. NCAT, like, he was the Mr.
Mm-hmm.
NCAT, and he was like impeached from his position or taken out his position because he wasn't like doing what he was supposed to do, and he was telling them like it was mental health things and like he had stuff going on, and they still kind of kicked him off the board.
I mean, you kind of, if he's not,
because he gave evidence, but it was just a couple, like, he was doing his job, but it was like a couple times, and he gave them like beforehand, like telling them
that's a
what's
case by case basis. There's nothing I can do about that.
I'm
like that's a.
I'm just saying, like, in general, that was an example. Do you think people should be terminated because of like they
It depends. It really depends, because I feel like if you feel like you can't do the job because your mental health, then really that's on you to like step down for real. Like if it seems like in his case it was just a few instances, mm-hmm. but those few instances had to have been big enough to where it was like, all right, bro, like I see you got stuff going on, we're gonna move you from your position because you can't handle it at the moment. And that's what it seems like. I don't know the whole situation, so like I'm not for sure.
But
you know, that's it's a case by case basis. You can't. There's no definitive way to do it. But is it? Yes, that can be the case. But again, it's a case by case basis.
But I feel like companies are so hell bent on talking about how, you know, they care about their employees and their mental health and stuff like that. I feel like why terminate them when you can give them resources?
You can give them resources and terminate them.
No, that don't work.
Because why would I give you?
Because if you terminate somebody from their job, you don't think. If you terminate somebody from their job, you don't think that's gonna mentally make everything worse.
Okay, maybe not terminate, but like
exactly
administrative leave.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying terminate is like a lot for someone that's going through something mental. And I just feel like as a employer,
I think that's a better way.
As an employer, you should give your employee some type of resources or something to help them. So that's what I think.
Okay. I agree. I agree with that. I feel like terminate. Yeah, well, that probably wasn't the right option. I think for a Mr. position.
And I feel like, especially when everyone talk about mental health, when they be running for stuff and you talk about mental health, mental this, and then when it really is in your face, it's like we don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
No. Like you're on to something. You're on to something. Let me put this down for you, gang. Okay. No. I agree. I agree partially with that overall. Interesting. Okay, so let's see. Do I want to skip this? Do I want to do this right now or wait? I'm gonna skip this, and then I'm gonna go to here. So I want to get to this. So, friend, you were just in Brazil. You got your Brazil bag over here, Brazil. Is that how you say it? Brazil. And I just want to know, like, what's the experience? Well, first of all, tell everybody, where you went, what you did, the whole, like, in general thing for it, and then we can get into the other details and stuff.
Okay, so I spent my fall semester in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I was in the city of Sao Paulo and the state of Sao Paulo, so Sao Paulo. And it was the best time of my life. I went with the CET academic program, and the topic of my program was social justice and inequalities in Sao Paulo. So we learned a lot about, race relations in Brazil and like the social economic standing of Black people in Brazil and also indigenous people in Brazil.
Black power.
Yeah, all around the world. And it was just so fun. It was like crazy to see how far African American culture goes. Like, yes, there was this one place we went to. It was a restaurant. It was a burger joint. And we went in, it was called Rap Burger. And we went in Rap Burger. And when we walked in, it was just like a whole bunch of murals and like pictures of like African American rappers, and they were playing like African American rapper music.
Wait, African American?
Yes, rappers? They had Biggie. They had Crisscross. They had everybody. Yes, and the food was pretty good. And mind you, right next door there was a club called New York, and they was playing African American music, and I went there for my birthday. I spent my birthday in Brazil, 21. And
you do something for me.
And we went to this club, and it was called New York, and it just felt like I was in America. Like, it was just cool, and it's crazy because Brazilians know all the lyrics to like a lot of the popular, like Beyonce. Don't play them when it comes to Beyonce.
Is worldwide.
I know it's world, but they know the lyrics. But it like I feel like they have
bar for bar.
Yeah, like they know it better. Like they know the lyrics. Like when I first got there, I went to the Renaissance album was coming out when I went there, and we went to a listening party, and like they already knew the lyrics. Like it just came out, and they already knew what the lyrics were, and
bar
I was
for
like,
bar.
I was like, God dang. But Brazil is just so beautiful. People are beautiful. The food is fantastic. The food is delicious. Like, it was just great, and I feel like I learned a lot, and it's just interesting to put in perspective, like, of the way they see color and the way they see race compared
please,
to
I definitely want to talk about that.
Compared to America. So, okay, basically in Brazil.
No, wait.
You want to have a topic? Give a topic. Okay.
No, so like, we gonna go to that. We gonna go to that. But I want to back up for a second here. Okay. So, in terms of the study abroad experience, like, tell people a little bit like what that is, like in general, of like, like classes or like, you going to school. Like, I know you're at a pretty balanced, interesting schedule from what I remember, and like just how the classes were, being one of the only American students. Like, let's start there and then work our way. Okay,
so my classes, I had 5 classes, 15 credits, and it was a culture shock because I had 3-hour classes. All my classes were 3 hours, except for my Portuguese class, which is only an hour 45.
So that means it was only one time out the week.
But Portuguese was 2 times out the week. So, yeah.
6 hours a week is crazy.
So, no, the Portuguese was an hour and 45.
Oh, I was going to say.
And everything else was 3 hours. And my classes, I only had one class. So I had a host institution, Pookie. Pookie. That's the acronym for it. It's Pookie.
All right.
And only had one class there because I wasn't very good in Portuguese, so I was in beginner. So I was in the CET academic building. So I was just doing my classes in there, and the curriculum was basically on the topic of social justice and inequality in Brazil. So I had Brazil-U.S. relations, I had Brazilian politics, I had rethinking racial democracy in Brazil, I had Portuguese, of course, and how many classes did I just say?
You said like 4 or 5.
Okay, I had 5 classes, so I think that's all the classes. Yeah, that should be all of them. But yeah, it was really nice, and I used to go on campus. I feel like going on campus was so like crazy. Cause I just felt like, wow, I'm really just walking. Like, they had a beautiful campus. It was really, they had a courtyard, and I remember one time they was having a protest there, and these I forgot what they're protesting, but they were naked, and yeah, they were protesting and they were naked. And I went to the school I went to was a private school, like a Catholic school.
Interesting.
And they were having a protest. I forgot what they were protesting about, but I remember they were naked and they were like protesting. I was like, okay, power to the people. But
naked protest is a little crazy. Like, I know you're telling me they're very sexually fluid out there, but jeez.
But there wasn't. When it comes to education in Brazil, education is expensive. And it's not that many Black Brazilians that are in like these private institutions like how I was. So it was very few Black people at the school because you had to have money because this is a private institution, a Catholic one at that. So yeah, it was just a really cool experience, and I feel like everyone should study abroad. Like, I don't care what major you are. I feel like everyone should be a student abroad. Because I feel like being a student and being a vacationer abroad are 2 totally different things. Like, I feel like...
totally different experience.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's 2 totally different... I feel like as a student, you can really just learn and, like, meet other students and, like, see different perspectives. I feel like when you're vacationing, just, like, go to the beaches, go dirt biking, go do boop, 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 boop. But I feel like being a student is something totally different. So I really enjoyed myself. I was able to visit 2 states. I went to the state of Bahia, and then I went to Rio de Janeiro. Or you know how to go. You know how to go see what they were talking about. But it was so fun. I enjoyed myself. Classes, it was a lot of work, but if you just prioritize and make sure you do your work, It's fine. You can do it.
You was cutting it close sometimes.
I was, but I still made it through with all A's. Check that.
My bad.
Check
4.0.
All A's.
Oh, is it? What's the grade point scale?
Huh?
What's the grade point average scale?
I think it's a 4.0. I think it's a 4.0 because they send it over to Morgan.
Okay, all right. So, you talk about it a little bit. What are like some of the differences in race and cultures? Like I know you told me at like the bars and stuff like that. They they just be kissing people for no reason.
So in Brazil, they're much more sexually fluid. When you go to different bars, when I was in Sao Paulo, there was a really big like queer community. So we used to go to a lot of gay clubs. It used to be so much fun. Oh my god! But it was just like everyone was just so like open and just like free and just so really nice. Like everyone was just really nice. It was a fun time. Like there was no drama, no crazy stuff. It was just cool. And even when we went to like the black clubs, it was like everyone was also just free. Like there'd be people doing 3-way kisses and just doing like they were just doing whatever they wanted to do. And I said I fuck with this vibe. 'Cause I feel like people being free. I'm like in Baltimore, all people do is stand on the wall, just look around. They may do a little hopping around when dreams and nightmares come on. But I feel like no one's really like mingling, talking. Like I feel like going to clubs, I can really talk to people. Even if I didn't know that much Portuguese, there were people in there that knew some English sometimes. And so you just go and just have a little conversation, just talk to people. It was just like, I don't know. I just felt people were much more open to communicate and just get to know people. Like it was just fun. Like, and the men there, they used to wear instead of like, you know how men here they wear gold chains. Right. In Brazil they wear pearls. I said, oh, y'all classy now.
Oh, they wear pearls.
They wear pearls, and I was like, okay.
I'm dead.
But it was such a good time. Like it's kind of hard to like kind of recap and say it's just easier for me to like talk about certain topics. So like if you ask me a topic, I can go on a spiel, but it's like
so then like in terms of like race and culture, again like more so with how they treat they're moving, so there's construction going on over there. How they see like color. Like I know like Cuba also has an interesting way that they see it as well, but like Brazil, because I keep mixing it up with them in Cuba because I learned about this in class last semester, but like I be mixing it up. So can you like explain what that is like compared to the U.S.?
Okay, I just want to start off by saying Brazil was the last country in the Western Hemisphere to end slavery.
I thought it was Cuba.
No, in the Western Hemisphere, it was Brazil, and it was in 1888, if I'm not mistaken. And when it came to after slavery, there's this thing that the Portuguese wanted to implement called miscegenation, which is basically...
That's a big word.
Yeah, which is basically when you mix all the races. So you mix indigenous, African, and Portuguese, the white Portuguese. And you mix it together and like everyone have sex with each other and you know, procreate. And everyone have these mixed kids. Like everyone's mixed.
How do you force people to have sex?
It's not really...
That's what it's giving.
Ooh, my mother. You know, they can force people to do it. You know, it was just given very much like a false reality of like you're equal. That's why I'm having sex with you. Instead of like in actuality, it's just like I'm just having sex with you just to dilute your race. Cause the more you keep having sex, the more you keep having sex with you know different races, it dilutes your original race. So if if a black person keep having sex with a white person, it's gonna like, you know, trickle down, and their kid, their descendant is gonna be mixed, and not really. They might consider themselves white, and that's where it comes into when they identify for their race. It's based off of your looks, like phenotypical. Like if you look white, you can get away with saying, well, you could say you're white. Like you can get into spaces as saying you're white. Like, there's one. I remember when I first came to Brazil and we was in class, we had to watch this video. We didn't have to, but we watched this video. We watched this video about this family and what they identified as. And they were all saying something different. Like, one person like, oh, I'm white. And another person like, oh, I'm black. And you would think, okay, you're most definitely like mixed, like, or black, but you can identify as white. But a large majority of the people who live in Brazil identify as mixed race. So like Pardo, that's what they call it, mixed. Pardo. And Preto is black. Preto's black, Pardo is mixed, and Bronco is white. I'm not white, but you know, white.
Yeah, I'm not white either. I'm probably black. Black power. I got a few more days of my month left.
Okay. But there's like a large population of mixed people. Like, they're the majority is mixed people. So, yeah, race is very crazy because people really think Brazil has no racism and Brazil is just a racial democracy. That's why we had a class called Rethinking Racial Democracy, because Brazil is not a racial paradise. Like, people would try to make it seem like when people think of Brazil, what you think of? Let me ask you, what do you think of when you think of Brazil? Be honest. What do you see?
People who look similar to you in skin color.
Okay.
Respectfully, like, that's what I think of. But like, I know what you're talking, because I know what you're talking about. Like, racism, they think is not a thing. Like, people, they even like say like, there's nothing in the Constitution regarding racism at all. If I'm not mistaken, right?
Actually,
there might be like one thing.
They have like being racist and like hate crimes, so that's illegal. Like, you're not supposed to do it.
But I'm talking about like, there's no like exact like thing in there like black and like, you know, like in the U.S. like something that definitively says you cannot blah 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 blah. Like, you have hate crimes.
But that's not. But that's not like black and white. Like, there's nothing in the Constitution that say anything about black people.
A little bit.
Like what? Ain't nothing in the Constitution say black people.
Like, you know, like I'm saying, like in the U.S. we know racism. Like, that's a huge thing, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas in Brazil, like, they act as if that's not the case. At least that's what I got from it from my class. It's out of them a freaking Cuba.
Okay, so there are people in Brazil, black people in Brazil, that don't think racism exists, but I feel like that's only because of the teachings they had with the whole, you know, being a racial democracy and like everyone's mixed and like everyone.
That's what I mean. Like,
but it's not. But there's still people who are descendants of Africans that are darker skinned, or people who are mixed and just darker. They still have to deal with discrimination. Even indigenous people, they deal with discrimination and like they fight for their territory. We also was able to go in my program. We were able to go to an indigenous community. We actually went to two. We went to two indigenous communities and we just like talked to them and learned more about their culture and just lived amongst them. And it was just like really eye opening because I'd never been in close contact with indigenous people. And it was just like,
oh, like really on the, not the plantation, but the what's it called?
They had a community. They had like
territory. The fudge. What is the place that they call the
reserves or
reservation. Sorry, yeah. That I was like, I know it's something.
It's not. It's
plantation
not.
and slavery. I'm like that's why I know it's not that. Like, but so I was trying to figure out the word.
It is not. It's not. It wasn't a reservation because. Yeah, it's not a reservation. Like how we see reservations, like how it's like their land and like it's not like that.
But they're still fighting for it though.
Yeah, like they even fight for their land that they're on right now. So it was really cool to like just to learn and see something I'd never seen before. So, and they're fighting for, you know, equality and stuff like that. So it's like,
keep putting my fist in.
Racism is well and alive in Brazil, especially colorism. Like in Brazil, they had their first female president, right?
Nice. What was she?
She was white.
Okay.
She was white.
No, I just wanted to clarify. I would assume so.
But there's a lot of people in power who are white. And when you look at the demographics of Brazil, you be like, well, that don't make any sense because technically black people is a majority in.
But that's what I'm saying. Was there ever a civil rights movement? Like a legit one, like in the U.S.?
Civil rights movement?
Also, they said, oh, this one dude, dang it, what did he say? He said, don't call it a civil rights movement. It was a fudge. I don't remember right now. He said he didn't like it. It was one of the dudes who helped like literally lead all the stuff. He's still alive. Like all the civil rights movement or whatever. He wanted to say a different word.
This one, Jesse Jackson?
No, it's in my note. You just keep going, bro.
But I'm not for sure if they had a civil rights movement, but they do have organizations that are for, like, they have a black movement. I think it's, what's it called? The
James Morris Lawson. You don't even know who he is. That's not. It's. She said something else about him because it was a speaker last week when I sang the Black National Anthem and the alma mater at this convocation last week. Mm-hmm. And was that last week? Yeah, last week. Or maybe it was the week before. Either way, I sang it at there and stuff, and she was talking about this dude. And this dude basically, he's an American activist, university professor, yada yada yada. But it says leading like theoretician and tactician of nonviolence within the civil rights movement in the 1960s. So basically, this guy used to work with Nelson Mandela, and
with the apartheid.
Yeah, so I think it was that. And then Dr. King called him on the phone. He was like, "Yo, we need you over here." And he was like, "I don't know about that." He said, "Bro, we need you over here." He was like, "I don't know." He was like, "Bro, we need you over here." And he ended up coming over here, and he like was one of the main people who ended up like really like leading these things, tactics, like all that type of stuff. Has so many mentees and all that type of stuff. He's still alive to this day, actually. And it's crazy. They said like he'll like sit. She said because the woman I was talking to, she said that she would literally like be talking to him and like she'll ask him something about like back in the day, right? He'll sit there for like a good like minute because he's he has to go back 60 years, to think about it, and then he'll tell it word for word, bar for bar, like every little thing that happened in that day. Like it's a little side story, but like he was talking. Reverend James Morris Lawson Jr. Wow. But search him. He's one of the biggest people. Black History Month. But I'm sorry. What were you saying again? No. About I was talking about the civil rights movement.
It wouldn't be called a civil rights movement in Brazil, but they definitely had, black movements, Yeah. There's an organization called it's called Negro Movimento. It's something. It's a black movement though. Mm-hmm. And the state I went to, Bahia, it's actually Salvador Bahia. That's where we went to. Salvador Bahia is the blackest city in the world outside of Africa.
Outside of cities in Africa.
Yeah, outside Africa.
Okay.
And when I went there, I said everyone need to go there. Everyone, if you're black, you need to go there because it's just so much culture there, and it's just so comforting to be like, even though we're different nationalities, like I'm, American and they're Brazilian, it's like it still feels like home, like a community, because like we all share a similar experience of being black. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We were black in different places, we still have that same thing of we're black. And it was just so nice to try the food, talk to the people, see what the events like. It was just a good time. And going back to when I asked you, what do you think? What do Brazilians look like, or what do you think Brazilians look like? Usually, when people think of Brazilians, they think of on a beach, bikini, long hair, like curly hair, straight hair,
definitely.
A big butt, a flat stomach, small waist.
What's it called? Brazilian butt. Dang it.
BBL?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, but
I mean that's what they literally call it that for a reason. So like, let's be real. Like, I don't personally like that. I think you should just leave your body the way it is, regardless. But if that's your prerogative, though, I can't stop you. It's just like with being a Christian in general. If you don't want to be a Christian, I can't say, like, no, I can't do that. Like, but if you want to do it, that's you, gang. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Just not me. Continue, sorry.
But yeah, that's not. I mean, of course, there's a lot of people in Brazil that look like that, of course, but that's not.
Don't look at me like that, bro.
Bless
I did not
you.
like that.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
I see you all the way over here, and you still looking at me like that, gang.
Holy water. Anyways,
holy water? You're not. Never mind. I'm not going. I'm not.
You,
I'm not doing
you're
it.
trying to expose my business. I don't like that.
Continue.
But anyways, damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. See, this. I forgot what I was even gonna say.
You was talking about the.
But I want to talk about something.
Well, no. Go wait. Stop real quick. You were saying how Brazilians looked and everything.
Yeah, and I just feel like people have this kind of false perspective of like what Brazil is. Like when people think of Brazil, they just think of beaches and like pretty women and just drinking coconuts. That's all people think about, and I feel like Brazil has so much more. Like
it has a lot of culture. Like that's what it really is giving. Right
oh, and you wanna know why we think like that? Oh, we learned this in my Brazil Youth Relations class. So there was this like I don't know if it was like a act or a policy or like a plan. I'm gonna say the plan. It was called the Good Neighbor Policy. It was a policy, the Good Neighbor Policy, right. And basically it was to like make good relations between United States and South America. Right. So there was like cartoons they would make with who was it? What character was it? I don't know if it was Mickey Mouse or no, it was Donald Duck. Is that the one to be with Mickey Mouse? That's Donald Duck. Yeah, the one. That's not Looney Tunes. Not Looney Tunes. The other one.
Yeah, the one who he's white, but he wears a blue suit all the time. Yeah.
So they used to make cartoons. Yeah, they used to make cartoons with this character from Brazil. I forgot the character's name, but it's like a green bird. I think it's supposed to be like a what's that bird called?
I don't know, gang.
It's like a tropical bird.
Toucan?
No, it don't have the nose. It's just like a green bird, and they used to. Maybe it's a parrot. I don't think it's a parrot.
Either way, continue.
So they used to have cartoons that they would play for the kids in the U.S. and kids in Brazil, and they used to show kind of like Brazil in like a tropical way. Like they used to like. So the character for Brazil, he was seen as more so like. They used to. I remember the episode that he had Donald Duck drink. Like this drink, he's probably drinking cachaça, which is a drink that's really popular in Brazil, like alcohol. Mm-hmm. And to get him loose, and they were doing samba, and it was just like it's a cute video, but it's also when you dig deeper into it, it's kind of pushing those like stereotypes of like what party. Brazil, like a party, drinking, you know,
seems
that
like
type
that
of
is
thing.
a part of the culture, but it's not the whole culture.
Yeah, and I feel like there was this lady who. You may have seen it. Like she wears like fruits on her head, mm-hmm. and she's supposed to be the representation for a Baiana woman. So I went to the state of Bahia, and she's supposed to represent the women that are there. And mind you, I told you this is the blackest city, like Salvador Bahia, which is a city inside of Bahia, is the blackest city in the world outside of Africa. The cities in Africa. Right. So. She was not even Brazilian. She was Portuguese. So she was like white looking. Like she was white. So she would wear the fruits on her head. She would wear like the you know, the cute little outfits, and she would just be dancing and stuff like that. And that was been what a Bahia woman would be. But in actuality, Bahia women, they were like all white, or they're like darker skinned, and it's like they were showing a whitewashed version of Brazil. Let's just say like they were showing a whitewashed version of Brazil. And I feel like you should really watch those cartoons, because it's like they did it for a lot of different countries in South America to make it more palatable for people in the U.S. You know what I'm saying?
Basically, they just whitewashed history, just like how, you know, what everything is at this point.
Yeah, but they just wanted to make it seem like it's like a good place of vacation to like, you know, and to make people feel like, you know, you can travel to Brazil and go to, but they didn't really, they didn't really show the full scope of what Brazil was.
No, that's a little crazy. Like, I mean, it's crazy, but at the same time, like, it's something that that's happened already. I mean, look at the representation of black people back then: big-lipped, big boned. Yeah. You know, like can't speak properly.
Bone in the nose.
You know, big face. Everything's accented more. Or bigger. You know, really really strong. You know, like just that like those type of things. Like that's it. Like, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised at all, because that's something that has happened already. They just took the same tactic that the U.S. did, collaborated with them, so then us in the U.S. could feel like it's a certain way. Like, I feel like my view of Africa is still screwed to this day because of the way that I think about it. I think of it as poverty. I think of it as someone that needs our help, you know, the white savior type thing. I mean, I'm not white, but, like, you know, everybody wants to go to Africa to I want to help the people, yada, yada, yada. Now, there are places that are like that, but that's just not the case for everything in Africa. And it took me to having friends who actually are from Africa, you know, to know that every time you search Africa, 9 out of 10 is going to be some kids that need help or something like that. You know, they don't show the cities that are flourishing, you know, things of that nature. And now there are probably, I would say there's more cities that aren't than are. Don't quote me on that. I'm not for sure. But that's like with the U.S. There's a lot of impoverished communities, but there's also a lot of really good cities as well. But, you know, that's always a dual thing, because no city is just going to be completely good, or no country is just going to be completely good without bad. Like, that's just it's just false. So then, like, just to close out the Brazil thing, like, what were some of your, you know, biggest takeaways or lessons, or just something like a favorite moment that you had going out there? Probably, you know, maybe something a little bit more fun or a profound moment or something like that.
It was just all very profound, if we're gonna be honest, all of it. But I feel like so I went to Rio de Janeiro twice, and the first time I went was in the beginning. When I first got there, me and my roommates, we took a bus down to Rio de Janeiro. And I remember when I first got down there, it was just so like, whoa. Like Sao Paulo, it was like, whoa, but also just like, it gave like a city. Like it gave, you know, like a downtown. Like it gave what I already kind of was used to, but it was like a little different. But going to Rio de Janeiro was just something totally different. Like, it's crazy. Like, you could see the mountains in the sky. You could see Christ the Redeemer. Like, it was just so unreal going there. Like, especially when we went to the beach, Copacabana Beach, the infamous beach that everybody got their pictures at, they coconuts. I had to make sure I got my coconut, my beach corn. I got everything.
Part of the problem.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I was spending money. I was giving money. I was spending money. So
no. I'm just joking, bro. I'm just joking.
But it was just so unreal. The water was so nice. The beaches. It was so many people on the beach. So many people. Like, it's imagine. Always packed there, and it's like, and we. It was just so fun. Like, oh my God, y'all need to go to Brazil. Like, it was just so nice. People were so cool, and it was just, that is something that's gonna stick with me for the rest of my life. Honestly, the first time I stepped foot in Rio de Janeiro was just like, why am I just stuck in the U.S.? I needed to be going abroad. I need to be going all over.
No, for real. I mean, like, you're talking about like seeing the mountains and like seeing all these crazy.
Cause just something different. Cause we don't have like. Our landscape is not.
That's how I felt when I went to, you know,
Peru?
Cusco.
Did you go to Peru?
Cusco, Peru. Yes,
okay.
That's Cusco, Peru. Like,
you
know, Peru, especially Ecuador and Galapagos Islands. Jesus,
yeah.
Like, even just seeing tortoises in their natural habitats, and just like, tortoises horny gang.
What?
But they was, bro. It was crazy, bro. The stuff we witnessed was insane. But like, even in Cotocachi, you know, and you know, seeing one of the 8 world wonders.
You went to Machu Picchu?
Yeah, I was over there. Yeah, I didn't climb it, but I did the climb to like see like the ruins and stuff, and then there was another part you could climb, but like that was like you gotta do a whole like few days trip. Like we saw some people that came back down through it. I took a whiff. I was like, oof, y'all stank. They're like, y'all stank, and they had a kid with them too. He was like 10, 11 minutes, something like that. But you know, like it was with the family though. It was a big little family though. Like I could see like me doing that with my family. They're gonna have to get with the program gang. Like I want to climb a few different things because it seems fun. Like just to like I could have climbed the whole in Ecuador. I could have climbed the whole like volcano that's inactive now, and like I have the dude's contact. He told me hit him up, you know, when you want to come back and like, you know, climb this stuff and everything, because I'm like everybody else is losing their breath and everything, and I was too, but like I'm like I want to do this whole thing. Like I feel like that's a fun night, and then just be able to see the views all around and everything. I'm gonna have my water and my snacks and all that type of stuff, but like that's a fun thing to me, and you know that's why I want to go back. Like that was my first time out the country, and
really
it won't be my last.
That was your first time out the country?
My first time. That was my first time.
Really?
Ever. And then I have one more thing.
Wait, I want to ask something real quick.
Yes.
So it's crazy. I did my first hike ever in Brazil. We went to the indigenous community, and it was the most. I didn't know I was gonna make it. Like I really did not know if I was gonna make it or not, cause it was steps on that motherfucker. There was steps on that thing.
I don't care.
There was steps on that motherfucker, and we was walking. There was no railing. It was just like.
Yeah, that's how that stuff is.
Walking on rocks, walking on dirt, and it was a set of steps.
Cobble, all that stuff.
And we on the edge of the damn. I'm just like,
no railings.
Whoa.
You gotta hit the other rock.
Mind you,
for a little support.
Yes, like I almost broke my ankle. My leg fell in the ditch. I'm like,
it's not walk friendly. It's not human friendly.
But tell me why the lady that was our tour guide,
not 21st century friendly. I think that's a better word.
The lady that was like leading us up.
She was just going.
She was wearing flip flops. And she was just going. She had to wait for us. Like I was like, I'm sorry, ma'am.
It's a lot.
Sorry,
but they're used to it. Like you know, and like they're that's their culture and everything.
There's
like,
people that be there's.
That's just gonna show me how bogus the indigenous people did, because all that stuff is half of the time is theirs. Like it's literally their stuff, and then the Africans were took here, and then white people took the Africans here. So like those two cultures dominated, and then the indigenous people who literally indigenous because it's their, you know, like their place. They just kind of like, oh, I guess you can look at our stuff now, you know, but we're not gonna have any power over anything of that nature. Like there's no indigenous. There's rarely any indigenous people in any governmental stuff at that high level. They usually just keep their culture and keep it simple. But no, we want to elevate and all that type of stuff. And it's a crazy concept, but
I feel like indigenous people always get the short end of the stick.
That's what I mean. Though. They always get the short end of the stick.
And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, never mind. But.
Nah, I see what you're saying, man.
No, I feel like, actually no, because that would be a lie. So never mind.
Okay. So then one last thing when it comes to that, do you think it's more or less dangerous than Baltimore, like just the streets and things of that nature and all that? Like, do you feel safer walking the streets, ghetto streets of Dummy Land, or over there on the side in the country, out the country in Brazil?
I guess it's kind of hard to say because I never walked by myself like at night in Brazil, or like, I'm gonna just say a city. I'm gonna say Rio de Janeiro to compare with with Baltimore. Yeah. So I mean, I feel like I've low key felt a little safer in Rio de Janeiro, but also that doesn't put into consideration like. Actually, no, I lied. No. I feel like Baltimore probably is safer to walk in than Rio de Janeiro because there's a lot of like, you know, robbings, like, you know, they phone snatching and all that stuff.
I'm gonna show you something after.
There's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in Rio de Janeiro, you know. So I feel like I can't really say because I wasn't by myself. But I feel like I wouldn't walk by myself in Rio de Janeiro. I wouldn't walk by myself in Baltimore at night. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like both of them is unsafe. Like I feel like it's unsafe all over all over the world. So it's hard to say. Like I feel like everywhere is
listen,
unsafe for a black woman.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and especially a black woman. They love, like, you know, for lack of better word, they love selling you on the market gang. Like that's just like that's the hard truth of it. Now I know I made it like sound funny, but like that's the truth though. Like black women go for a pretty price type stuff. Like because that's just what it is. Yeah. And it's sad how much people try to take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. But this brings me to another topic. I told you I watched the Billie Holiday movie. Yeah. And this conversation can go forever. I don't want it to, because I got one more thing I want it. That's kind of funny. Funny thing to kind of close us out. But this is not funny, clearly. Actually, no, it is introspectively. So Billie Holiday movie. I said introspectively.
How?
Just.
Okay, go.
I was gonna say, like, can I get to like what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing funny about Billie Holiday. Ain't nothing funny.
I said introspectively.
No.
Okay, so basically what I'm saying is the Billie Holiday movie, for those of you who don't know, Billie Holiday, basically she sang the song Strange Fruit.
Strange fruit hanging from the popular
I can't
tree.
even sing the way that she sings it, because she just...
Blood on the leaves.
Okay.
Black bodies swinging in the summer breeze.
That is not the key. That is not the key.
I'm singing the Kanye West one where he did... Y'all don't know that.
Jeez, you're being extra. But basically, because of that song... It caused her a lot of things. I'm going to just read the stuff that I wrote down. Okay. So basically, watching these movies in general, they always make me like clench my fists and like scream in frustration. Mm-hmm. It always reminds me of the lengths the U.S. and many white people in general will go to keep us quiet. Mm-hmm. In this movie, it was just for singing about lynching, and they literally ruined Billie Holiday's life. Mm-hmm. Even though she never stopped singing. And even though she never stopped singing Strange Fruit, this ultimately led to her roller coaster / spiral of a life, which is a sad sight to see. The government was literally going to lynch. Like, if she even thought about, like, starting to say, there's a strange, get her off the stage now. Like, they had whole lines of policemen literally at one of her performances. And after that, she had to go into hiding and all that. Mm-hmm. And then eventually they caught her with drugs and stuff because she already needed drugs, because she already had a terrible childhood and all these other things. So the whole movie is basically about her struggle with drugs and men in general, because she had a terrible growing up with it and then never had a good thing about it. Mm-hmm. And also the government coming after her, and also her trying to figure out her life and continue putting herself in bad situations, even though her heart was in the right. It was just a lot. It was just a lot going on, right? Mm-hmm. And so the hold that the U.S. has had just on black people as a whole have repeatedly stopped them from ever truly having like a revolution through governmental tactics and more, as we're talking about with Brazil as well, like, but in the U.S. specifically. So music, businesses, or anything that bring light to black issues in the mid-1900s, and really even now, if it gets to a certain extent, before they were shut down by cover-ups, framings, and just a blatant abuse of power. It's really, again, a sad thing to see. Most full revolutions, they happen after enslavement, but not here in the U.S. It's almost fascinating how they have this slavery thing down to a science. Now, I know we get mad what Kanye said, but it's partially true. It said slavery is a choice. There is bondage to it. There's physical stuff to it, and I think he missed that. He missed the ball on that part. But on the fact that slavery is a choice, because of the way that they're trying to tie us down through so many different things. Because if we get back into it a little bit, like separating families at birth, bribes, pitting us against each other, the lack of resources, sowing discord, and so much more. It's insanity, but it makes sense at how they mostly descended from Europeans who had a hold on the world for centuries, because they're still the biggest empire of all time besides the Roman Empire, if I'm not mistaken. So just thinking about all that combined, that's why these movies make me mad, because it realize the depths of racism. Like, me and you know, like we got our fair share of information. We know a good amount of stuff, but it feels like every year, maybe especially during Black History Month, we always learning about something just a little bit more. That you like, oh, they went to this depth. to just the thought of incitement. The reason why they said Billie Holiday's song was bad was because they literally said, they was like, it incites riots, it incites, it's too much, They never said it wasn't true, because the information was true. They were hanging people on trees. Simple as that. But because of the fact of what it could end up doing, and there were even white people who wanted her to sing the song. That's the crazy thing. Mm-hmm. But then once they realize, the government's coming at you, then just stop. How do you think we're here in the first place? Because we just stopped. Because they kept using things to make sure that we weren't able to incite things and all that type of stuff. We never had a full revolution because they kept having some sort of hold or some sort of compromise. Usually when a revolution happens, I'm not saying I'm in favor of that. I like in general how we're trying to change it, because it's a little bit different, but at the same time, we have not had a true just change. That's what usually happens in revolutions. Usually it's a total change of power. I'm not saying I'm for that, but I'm saying usually when a revolution happens, it happens. And that never happened in a lot of places where Europeans took over black people or African areas, and they never let them fully have their control back. And so that's just in general, like these movies and these situations, it really frustrates me to see we've made so much progress, but it's like, dang, they really put their foot down on our necks in so many different instances. And we bounced back, but we've never truly bounced back in a way that usually happens. So yeah, that's my 3-4 minute spiel.
I feel like when it comes to anything, dang, my stomach growling. But when it comes to anything with like slavery or discrimination, Jim Crow, all that, like everything, all the bad things you think happened, you need to times that by 10, because there's a lot of stuff that they will not put in the history books, that they will try to erase, so you don't know what they truly did. Because if you really understood to like the full extent of what white people did to black people, I have like everybody in the same boat of reparations. We need a revolution. We need all this. I need
the reparations, gang.
And I feel like I don't know why people are against that.
Reparations, gang.
That makes so much, like, America can give reparations to everyone else except for black people. That doesn't make any sense. Like,
did they give Jewish people reparations?
Mm-hmm.
They did?
Mm-hmm.
I know they give, like, some black people have gotten reparations, but it's not like been like a worldwide type thing.
No,
like,
they ain't
black
people. They ain't black people. Just a couple black people. They ain't all black people. All black people need reparations because we built this goddamn country from the ground up. And
why are you talking Southern?
Because I had to.
From the ground up, we did everything. This country was built on the backs of all people. And the
way we built the economy in America, it doesn't make any sense why there's any poor black people in America. The way we built the economy up, people are still living off of the money they made off of slave labor.
No, for real.
That old money, that's slave labor money.
3 acres and a mule. I want my 3 acres and a mule.
No, make it 40. I need 40 acres and a mule. 40 acres. That's what I need.
I need more than one mule then at that point.
No, fuck a mule. I need a Ford truck, or maybe a Hyundai Elantra.
A truck, a car is not enough. I need investments. I need add a little bit of cryptocurrency too, but mainly I need investments. I need stocks. I need bonds. I need savings accounts. I need compound saving accounts. I need property. I need I need stakes in companies. Like I need so much stuff for like generational trauma. All that stuff is really real. Like it is. Like it really is real. And like I mean, you see what I mean. We could be worse. We really could be worse. Like Brazil and things of that nature in terms of like just the shadow that's cast over them. We have a shadow as well. And all these different places. But, I mean, at least we have movements, you know?
I mean, they have movements, too.
I mean, our movements are way bigger.
No, I feel like it's not really comparable because they had a whole different type of white supremacy put on them. Like, we didn't have... White supremacy
a little crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Huh? That's crazy. They was like, no, we gonna wipe out your race.
Yeah, like,
That's
they had miscegenation, which it kind of blurred the lines of what race was.
It was forceful for them, whereas with us, we weren't even allowed.
They told
to
us
date
up
outside
front,
of
like
race.
they told us up front, we do not like you. We don't like your black ass. That's what they told us up front. But in other countries, it kind of was very
subtle.
Yeah, like not subtle, but it was just very much not on the front end. Like it
wasn't as hateful.
No, it was hateful, but it was just
I'm talking
deeper.
about like upfront hateful, because like
it wasn't overt. It wasn't overt. That's what it wasn't overt.
But that's the thing. Like now, it's getting to a point where it is a little bit more overt, and you have to peep it. That's why we have institutional racism, which racism really is institutional racism, but that's neither here or there. But institutional racism and like just the discrete thing, colorism, like things in workplace and like things of that nature. Well, it's because you're well, you just don't fit our like all those different things, and now they want to do inclusion and things of that nature, and God bless them. Thank you for for inclusion and things of that nature. But then also I get in these workplaces and I don't know how to talk to. Now me personally, I know how to talk to a good amount of people because I just love talking, but I can't even tell you how hard it is sometimes to maintain these conversations because we just differ so much. And I know how to talk to people like of all different cultures for the most part, and I even still feel weird when it's a white space and I'm the only black person. If I'm the only black person in a I don't want to say Indian, well no, because Indian, because they're over there, but Native American space or an Asian space, well maybe not Asian space, but like just in different ones, I feel it feels totally different from when I'm in a black person in a white space. Like that right there will always be weird to me no matter what. Will I have to be in those spaces because of what my career path is? Yes. And I can do it. That's not the problem. But I can't act like it doesn't play a factor in me being like, I don't know. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I felt that. That was one of the that was one of the
You smell that too?
Yeah.
my roommate's over there is chefing it up or something, gang.
But that was like a really big culture shock for me when I went to Brazil, because I was the only person from an HBCU in my program. So there was a couple black people there, but it was majority white, and I never really mingled with white men before. And in the beginning I just felt so out of place. I just like, what the heck? What do I even talk about with, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do I even put myself in the conversation? So I feel like over time I kind of had to learn how to maneuver with different races and different people, because we all experience different things. So it's like we kind of just have to, or I will kind of just have to like use that and try to navigate on, how to get conversation going, So yeah, I feel like that was just something that was just so like crazy, because come from HBCU, I didn't really talk to that many white men, like, like having a conversation with them. It was kind of cool just to see their perspective on stuff.
You went to a place in Waterford though. I thought they had more like white people.
But that don't mean I was.
You wasn't interacting with
Yeah,
them.
like I wasn't like I was like, but
I forgot you're not a social person like I am. In the same way, I'm not coming at you. Oh my.
Yes,
gosh.
you are. Like literally, I am social, but when I need to be, like I feel like you don't understand.
I do.
No, you don't. Anyways,
In
next
general.
topic.
First of all,
first
of all, hold up. One, you're not finna slam my desk.
Give me a gavel so I can. Next case.
Who the hell is you talking to right
Next
now?
case.
Yo, you stop bugging me. But either way, in general, what we're saying is, I don't hate other people that are my race, and things of that nature. But I just like to give context into these things, and what's the truth beyond all these different facts that we have going on and all that. Like, what is the truth behind all these different things? Because there is one, and the facts is always more than meets the eye. So yeah, but
wait, you're talking about like
racism or colorism or just things in general.
Oh, can we go back to when you were talking about Kanye West and how
what
he said
about
slavery is
a choice?
I just feel like that's not true.
I only said that like to an extent. Like a lot of things that Kanye says, I do not agree with them fully.
Mm-hmm.
Partially, yes, but he leaves out parts, things in what he's saying, and that's why it comes off the way that it comes off, because he'll just say it's like a crazy person. A crazy person. No. I'm not saying he's crazy, but I'm saying like some people. You got that one person who like just says stuff but doesn't give context to it. That's what Kanye does sometimes. Kanye is not. I ain't gonna say he's crazy. I've said that in the past, and I apologize for that. I don't think I should have said that. But I mean it's out there now, so it's like I'm not finna like. Yeah. I take it back now. Like I'm a different person. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that makes me mad is that he doesn't fully explain himself, and that's how he gets misinterpreted, especially when he's such a big figure. Mm-hmm. So like the slavery is a choice thing. He was on to something, but at the same time, that's just not entirely true. Because if it was a choice for real, then I wouldn't be here right now, and neither would you. None of us would, if it was a choice. Yeah, you could have chose that or die, but what type of choice is that? That's an ultimatum. That's not a choice. You know what I mean? Like that's a fallacy that it's a choice.
I don't think slavery is a choice at all. Even currently, like I feel like it's so.
Yeah, that's my neck.
It's so. It's so deeply woven into the fabric of America. It's just like. Racism and white supremacy, like anything we do is like it's only prolonging the inevitable, honestly. Like you can do or make all the choices in your life to do whatever you need to do and what you think will help you succeed, but something where you're gonna get discriminated because of the color of your skin, because of where you're from, something's gonna happen where you're gonna be discriminated against. And all that hard work you just did and all that will feel like...
You can always choose how you respond, though.
But it doesn't matter how you respond because it's still going to happen.
But all you can do is just move forward.
But I feel like that's not a choice. It's just a reaction to something that just happened.
Exactly. Your reaction is always a choice.
But I feel like saying that stuff is a choice, like being like slavery, discrimination, all that of... I feel like that's just a choice of how you react, but it's still gonna happen. Like I feel like it's not really a choice.
Okay, but like things always happen in life. You can't control everything. Now I know it is. I know it's deeper because it's racism, but at the same time, like you can always control something, and that is your actions and how you respond.
Not in this society.
Yes, you can. Yes, you
not
can.
In this
you can
society.
Always control your actions because people can entice you, but regardless, you do not have to respond. Like you just don't. Like there's literally. You don't have to. There's nothing anywhere that says you have to do this. There's culture that says you have to do it, but you do not have to do it. So I agree though, like there are things that happen to you and they're not exactly a choice because you were black or because you were you're discriminated against because you're not white, But like you can always choose how you bounce back. And what you do moving forward based off what you are given or what you can do. That's what I'm saying.
Until this whole structure of racism is dismantled,
I doubt
then we will have a choice. Because how can we have a choice if it's not free will? Like I feel like
what do you mean? I have free will right now.
No, these choices that we have to make are the choices that these white people put into place for us. Like I just feel like that's not really a choice. They're just telling you either you're going to do this or you're going to do that. And I feel like until the whole institution is dismantled, that's when we're going to really have our own choice. Like, this is all a facade. Like, this is a fake. They give you some type of fake freedom to make you feel like you have a choice in life when you don't, okay?
I feel like we're progressively always going towards it.
I don't need progressive. Freedom. I need change. I need this shit to be completely different. I don't need progressive. Umar. No, not Umar. He's like he be right, but sometimes he be wrong.
Exactly. Same way I feel about Kanye.
No, Kanye, he more wrong than right. Because I feel like he thinks.
Have you seen his interviews all the way?
No, because I feel like he thinks about himself. Like he don't think about black people as a whole, and himself. He's a rich black man in corporate America or wherever in the music.
Watch a full interview, and then they only take the one thing he says wrong. But he'll say other good. But that's social media as a whole. Like that's what happens. I'm not agreeing wholly with anybody. Like I don't like doing that, because if you agree wholeheartedly on somebody, like I can support them regardless, or like I can be for them regardless, but that doesn't mean like I agree with everything they say. I don't agree with everything single thing you say, but I still love you regardless. You the guy. Like, you know, like I'm not finna just leave you out, but I'm gonna tell you when you're wrong and things of that nature. Nobody's supposed to just agree 100% with something. Yeah. That's just not the truth. But
I feel like
in regards to this conversation whole, like I can only do what I can at the end of the day. Like I understand my choices are more limited because I'm black, but at the same time, I can continue to create a pathway to make it easier for people in the future. Maybe that's a fallacy as well. Maybe it is. Either way, I can only live my life.
Exactly.
That's all I can do. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna just keep progressing and moving forward because that's all I can do. Simple as that. That's how I think about it. It's as simple as that for real. Okay, Miss Umar.
But I just feel like even if he's right, sometimes I feel like it kind of cancels out when he go and talk about something that's totally incorrect, totally not right. Like, I don't know. I feel like if that's your train of thought to get to that destination, I can't agree with you because that don't make no sense to me.
You didn't talk to them, man. You never even know, gang. Like, I know even some of the things Donald Trump says are god awful. Jesus Christ. And I don't agree with him wholeheartedly, but sometimes he makes points. Simple as that. Every bad person can make a point. Every good person can make a bad point. That's how I think about it. Not everything's black and white.
Yeah, I get that, but I feel like if your line of thought, like when you're talking about this certain point, when you're getting to this point, and I don't agree with nothing to it, I feel like technically I don't agree with your point.
Just watch more videos then. That's all I gotta say. But I'm not harping on this anymore.
Why not?
Cause it's just too much, and we're already at hour 40, gang. And I got one, and it's my last thing. It's my last thing. Don't wait. I didn't
even talk about freaking Billie Holiday. I didn't even say.
You didn't talk about it. You can go back to it. All right, what you gotta say, gang?
I was just saying, what was her drug of choice? Like, was it heroin or crack?
I think it was heroin.
Okay.
Because she shot up needles.
So I just want to bring up a crazy point. I just think it's so crazy how drugs are seen with different races. So, like, you know, Nixon, this whole war on drugs, lock everybody up, throw away the key type vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Stupid.
And that was targeting black communities and black people. And they didn't see black people who are addicted to drugs as, like, addicts or people that needed help. They see them as criminals. You know what I'm saying?
Which is stupid.
But now, in the current age, now that the white middle class got a hold of opioids, now we in an opioid epidemic. And now we need to, you know, put these people into, you know, what's those places called? Rehabs. And to help them. But they criminalize drugs for black people. But when it comes to when it's in white middle class households. New. I know, but I'm just saying. It's crazy because when you think of Billie Holiday and how she was doing heroin and stuff like that.
Heroin?
That's what they call it. I forgot
it is called that. Heroin, whatever.
Heroin. I like heroin. That's what my grandma say. But anyways,
we know when she was raised.
No, I wasn't raised by my grandma.
I said I'm talking about your grandma.
Oh. Anyways, I just feel like it's just crazy how, you know, she had this whole thing with the police with the heroin and stuff like that when there were so many other white artists, white people, all that were doing drugs. But they were never, like, targeted for drug offenses. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the only thing they could really get her on. And, you know, that was her coping.
It was the only thing.
That was her coping mechanism. So that's why.
And that's why I said, and that's why it made me, like, so angry. Because it was like, dang, she really needed help. Because I remember she went to the court and she was like, it's like, okay, just send me to a hospital, whatever. And then they ruled it. Because she's like, she wasn't going to tell him who the dealer was. And then she put the gavel down. He's like, all right, 1 year in prison. What? She was like, wait, what? You set me up. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow. Okay, I see how it is. But, you know, that's all I had to say for that. Because I don't.
Did she have children?
No, unfortunately. But I ain't gonna lie, she would not have been the greatest mother at that point. She just had too much going on.
Yeah.
Maybe she would have, but like from my outside looking at it, it didn't look good. But I have one more thing. Maybe took my eyes on. But you're funny. So basically, I saw this. There was an Instagram reel. And I'm gonna just play it on here.
Yes, please.
Because it's a little bit easier.
I think I know what you're going to show me. Can I guess?
No.
Marriage. Are you cool? Do you want to get married? I feel like I'm married as soon as I commit to you, because I'm a loyal person. If I feel like, what you mean you a loyal person? Then I am. That ain't how loyal. That's not how it works. It is in my heart, because it's between me, you, and God, not paperwork. I do it. I have a wedding for you. I ain't doing that paperwork. Do you sign contracts that don't benefit you? No, I ain't either. Stay woke.
Not the stay woke at the end.
No, the stay woke at the end really killed me. But basically, that was Lil Duval on Shannon Sharp show. He talks to a little bit of everybody. And basically, he was saying, like, I'll get married, but I'm not signing papers, in terms of bank accounts, all that type of stuff, the legal, all that type of stuff, right? He's saying it's between him, his wife, and God, right? So I'm gonna just let you say, like, what how do you feel about that in general, especially as a woman in the situation?
I feel like you're entitled to your own opinion, Lil Duval. You're entitled.
That sounded so condescending.
No, because actually I'm not gonna bring up what he did, but we're gonna just talk about the topic.
Yeah, because I don't even know, and we could talk about it later.
Okay, so I just feel like this type of thinking gives me very much, you're trying to run away from commitment. Like, you're saying that you're going to just be together and your loyalty is marriage and all that stuff. But what happens when you cheat? There's nothing that's gonna, like, I just feel like it's a tactic for them to just not have no type of, like,
fail safes, liabilities, like, just
nothing. Like, they
nothing.
can just do whatever they want, because they know at the end of the day nothing's gonna really happen, because we're not even together in the eyes of the law. Like, we not even.
And you say it's between him, the wife, and God, but I mean, if
you
go by, I'm talking about for me personally, right? I'm a Christian, and it always says in the Bible, like, the two become one.
Yeah.
And I feel like even if you're not Christian, that's what it's supposed to be. The two become one. Like, that's what it is. I don't care if you're doing a same-sex marriage or whatever. I don't care what it is. In general, I believe in, because I feel like that's a good principle. If you get married, this is two people becoming one. You do not have two separate lives anymore. You are living in one. You have to make decisions together and everything. So, like, one of the things I learned is that you're supposed to, like, you have, like, a joint account where you both have to sign off on it. You have a separate account for your own stuff. And then I think it's, like, one more account as well for, like, savings and, trust funds, things like that for your kids and things of that nature to accumulate wealth and everything. And that, that together spending account is, like, for family stuff, or, like, I need it for this, that type of thing, right? So, and then you have to figure out your balance of who needs to provide what in that, depending on your different incomes and where you're at in your life. Because let's say if I have one job but then I get fired, or, like, I switch jobs to pursue, like, a more fulfilling career path, like those type of things, then okay, let's rearrange the budget. We have to work out these numbers and all that. We have to cut out some different things. Like, my family recently cut out Netflix, and then I had to start paying for it, right? And they cut out something else, and then we're switching cable service providers because we're going through some changes and, just trying to work some things out and things of that nature, right? Because life happens. My parents are 50s. They're in their 50s, and they're doing this now, because my dad, was doing a little bit something different now, and I have no problem with it. That's just what it is. I'm not pressed about it, you know what I mean? But at the same time, they're working through it out because they love each other. And even though this isn't quote unquote what they signed up for, it is, because you said till death do us part, in sickness and in health, for better or for worse. So you're supposed to stick with it throughout the whole time. And if you're not signing these papers to make sure, like, you're really one, then are you really one? If you don't trust them with your money, are you really one? That don't make no sense to me. That makes absolutely no sense to me. And I was commenting on this Instagram post, And somebody, I got 2 likes, but then like one of the dude was like, no, but like in this day and age, blah 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 blah, and it's not looking good. I'm like, bro, if that is your wife, if you truly love this person. That does not make sense why you cannot combine your stuff. That like you're supposed to work it out between yourself. That does not make sense to me.
It's because these men don't. Well, I'm gonna just say men because I feel like it's probably women that think like this too.
Oh, there are.
But I feel like these
But
people
more so
don't
men, probably.
really. Yeah, probably men because they just think they the breadwinners and make so much money. But I just feel like they don't really believe in the institution of marriage. They just want a lifelong girlfriend. That's all they want. I don't know why they don't just keep a spade and just call it what it is. Exactly. Don't try to switch up what marriage is because to fit your terms. Marriage is marriage. Like, keep it like that. If you want a lifelong girlfriend that you say you claim you loyal to and you don't sign no papers, nothing's really a joint with y'all, then do that. But don't try to switch up what marriage is so people can feel kind of like, wow, I need to stay woke. The government trying to take me down and they married. Like, I don't like that stuff. Like, I just feel like, and people are so like, sheep mentality, like they just follow what people say and be like, wow, that is so true, he made a good point, when no, he did not. He didn't make no points. And little
it's giving like conceited, it's giving like I'm insecure, or like I don't like he has commitment issues.
Exactly.
That's
knows.
what it feels. It feels as though it's commitment issues.
Exactly.
And I'm not gonna lie, he's probably been done wrong in the past. That might be the case.
No.
I said might. That might be the case. I don't know what his past is like. I don't know. But that decision, me personally, I don't agree with it. He could be a good guy in general. I don't really know Lil Duval like that. Whatever. I know you probably know other stuff. That's cool. But I'm saying in this situation, based off the context that I've been given and everything, I'm not going to come in his character and things of that nature. I just do not agree with that person because I do not agree with Lil Duval because I feel like if you're married, become one.
Yeah.
And truly become one. If you trust this person with your life and you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with them, you having a marriage ceremony and all that stuff, and you say in sickness and health and better or worse and all these type of things, you talking about you're going to have a whole marriage thing, but you can't sign these papers? But you can't, and it's more than just signing the papers. It's really working through this stuff and then having, a thing for your kid and things and having something for your family and stuff and all that, because this is your family now. This is your wife.
I think it's more so a reflection of what they know they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knows he's not a commitment type of man. He knows that he's not really one that wants to be one with one other person. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it's given.
So it's not what other people are capable of doing. It's just what he know he capable of doing. So that's why I feel like he try and switch it up and like, marriage is a lie, and I feel like you should I don't need no papers. I don't need the government to be in my business, all that stuff. I just feel like that's just a facade, just a cover up from what he really dealing with, like commitment issues and not really understanding what marriage is. So I don't know. Do you think prenups? Would you sign a prenup?
That explain that one more time to me, because I know what it is, but I needed.
It's basically when it's like a paper you sign. It's like an agreement. Like basically, if you guys ever were to break up or separate, all the finances will go to what you came in with.
I feel like then I'm planning.
Exactly.
I'm planning for it to end.
Exactly.
I'm supposed to go into marriage saying this is it. Ooh. So if I really believe this is it, why would I sign a prenup? That makes no sense.
Exactly. That's what I think too. I'm like, what's the point of prenup? Like, I just feel like it given very much like, I guess, I don't know what circumstances, but I feel like that's a good idea. Cause I feel like if you truly love somebody, but then
it'd be a family. It'd be a family usually though.
But sometimes you do know that people are capable of some messed up things.
But again, if I know this person, and if like for me, I'm waiting for when God tells me that's my wife. Or it's gonna be it's gonna be a feeling, and everything's gonna line up. Yeah. Like every time I've been with somebody, usually it's because of timing and things don't line up, and then it ends up not working out, or I end up finding something else later, and then something else happens. It's happened every single time. So when everything lines up finally, usually it's a distance thing. I don't know why this keeps happening to me, but
me too.
Like, yeah, but you keep doing it though. But you like actually end up in a relationship, but that's fine. I'm not putting your business out there.
Yes, you did a little too much.
No, I didn't. It's a general thing. But like when everything lines up, and I feel like I might have my wife for the next
2 years. That was you said. You said 2.
I'm gonna say 3.
How old are you? You 21.
I'm 21.
So
I don't know why,
23.
but it's just a feeling. I feel like I'm about to go through a lot of things, and I feel like God's gonna give me somebody to be next to me the whole time, throughout all this, and I'm gonna be there for her in the same way, cause I love hard. Like, I mean, I really do. Like, with all my friends and family, like, I always try to, you know, especially if I'm there and I see it, like, whenever I'm in town or like in things of that nature, I make sure to hang out with people. I make sure to like be there and have these real conversations with people, cause
Is that true?
I be doing a lot of stuff and I get busy.
Is that true?
But when I have these conversations, you know, I be there, bro. Stop playing with me. Okay. Either way, last thing I want to say, or is there any comment you want to say regarding anything real quick?
This was fun, like just chatting with my good old friend Julian.
That was
fun.
weird.
What do you mean?
Like, yeah, what the hell? I usually ask this to people at the end. If you had one person,
oh Jesus,
I'm dead. If you had one person in any movie, TV show, cartoon, or anything that is a representation of you but does not look like you. Yes, but does not look like you. Meaning usually not black. Now, if it ends up being somebody that is black, that's fine. But like, try to think deep and hard as to somebody that is in any type of show, film, or anything, but like has a representation of you as an aura, as a person, or like you feel like you watch that movie, you're like, I feel like that was about me. Who would it be? For me, it was somebody. I had a few anime characters. You wouldn't know them, but one of them is called Black Star in a place called Soul Eater. He had my personality in terms of loudmouth, was always trying to get attention and things of that nature. But like when it came to it, he hated losing, and he'd do anything for his friends and things of that nature. But it seems like he doesn't like them sometimes. But like he's just very goal oriented. He's just somebody who, you know, really wants it for real. And then this other guy, Luffy, because he's a wannabe king of the pirates and One Piece and stuff. That's actually him right there, the one with the straw hat. He's goofy as hell, but like when it's time to get serious, he gets things done. He brings a lot of people near him because of his infectious personality and all that stuff. And when it comes down to it in a bad situation, he comes through every single time, even though he might look grim maybe beforehand, but he puts the team on his back and gets it done. So like that's why I feel like that represents me in a way. Maybe not everything, but like, you know, but you see like these people, like he does not look like me in the slightest. Like he does not look
that
like
boy,
me.
is it a little boy?
No, he's like, I think in that he's 17.
I was like, why he's so ripped? What the fuck is going on?
It's anime. Everybody's ripped. Everybody's ripped. But so then like who do you think that would be?
Can I say 2 people? Like,
yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so I would say Chowder from the show Chowder.
I think you're the second person who said Chowder. I think somebody else did. I don't remember who it was. No, why do you say Chowder though?
Okay, so I say Chowder because I feel like just the way that he just tries to do right and like be fucking up. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like just he's consistent. Like I'm like, is he a he? But anyways, Chowder.
Yeah, because Penelope was trying to get with him.
No, Panini.
Whatever.
Penelope's her friend. Anyways, I just feel like Chowder is someone that's like consistent. They will keep going until they get it right. And I feel like that's me. Like I'm very consistent. Like I will try to get it right, and I feel like I'm a kind of a people pleaser. So I feel like that's what Chowder was kind of doing. Like he was trying to please Mung Doll, you know, and just making sure that, you know, he was a good apprentice. And I feel like that's kind of like what I be doing sometimes. Schnitzel. Yeah.
My boy Schnitz.
And my second person, I feel like, I will say Huey Freeman from the Boondocks. Yeah. And the only reason why I say that because I just like how he's passionate. Like I feel like I'm passionate about Black history and Black people, and I feel like also Huey is the type of person that like he don't speak unless spoken to. Like he be really quiet until like he has something to say.
He'll let people like mess up.
Yeah, and then he say something. Yeah, like that's kind of like how I am. I feel like I'm quiet until I have something to say. Like, but he sees it as like I don't speak, and I'm just.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. You'll wait for me to like say something later, and then be like, "Well, actually, I told you that." I was like, "All right, fine, whatever." But I do the same thing to you, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. I be like, "Well, I told you this a lot ago. You don't listen to me." But it's cool because I'm assuming I'm the wise counsel for a majority of my friends.
And I must be your wise counsel, cause.
Oh yeah, definitely, gang. But we're about to reach 2 hours. Which is it didn't seem like 2 hours though, did it?
No.
See, I told you, because I'm good. It's because I'm good at this. You know what I mean, gang?
Oh, we always just be talking, like.
We do be always talking though, but that's why I usually bring on people who I know I can, who I can talk with, and they bring something to the convo. You see what I'm saying? So But thank you all for listening.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Robersha, for probably never heard of somebody named Robersha before, have y'all?
Unique. It's kind of like Beyonce, her name is something new and different.
Yeah,
so make sure it's going to be easy to catch on and hear because you're going to remember it. It's a household name pretty soon.
Oh, my gosh. Either way, though.
Why you hating?
I'm not hating.
I was going to say that for Julian.
I'm not hating. Huh?
I was going to say that Julian.
Julian is such a regular name.
No, but it's your name, though.
It is my name, though.
So it's not regular.
And I love it. I love my name. I love my name, gang. But thank you again, Robersha, for coming on. I really appreciate it. Talking about Brazil. We talked about a lot. Talking about 4-day work weeks. I forgot we even talked about that. Section 230. Forgot we even talked about that, John. Mental health. Jeez, I got a whole bunch of notes. Billie Holiday, the Brazil again. I mean, like, geez, marriage papers, all this stuff. And then, of course, it had a little side commentary as well from both of us. So thank y'all for listening. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, rate. Please rate the podcast on any and all platforms. You can catch us on anything, whatever you're listening to. Shout out to y'all, whether you're watching us or you're seeing us on video. Wait, what? If you're watching us or you're just listening to us on audio. Wow, that was terrible. Appreciate y'all, and hopefully I have another episode soon. Hey, I might end up doing a little something in between. Please follow the TikTok. And that's about all I got. So thank you, and anything you want to say? Okay.
Just thank you for having me. It was really nice. This is gonna be I'll say in like a year. This podcast is gonna be the #1 podcast on Apple Music. Write that down.
#1.
Write it down.
Might have a different name by then.
Write it down.
Write it down. But thank y'all, and peace.